but we're going to work with it. I'm just going to wait for a little while and okay. Oh. Okay. Lighting is bad, but we're going to work with it. I've got my woolworking needle here and some black yarn. I'm gonna carefully thread my yarn through my yarn needle. My phone's going off, but that's fine. Hopefully you guys can hear me well enough. So here I have the little frog head that I crocheted last time. I'm going to use my yarn needle to put a mouth on the frog here. It is a little bit difficult, but it's doable. So I've got to do this so that I can see what I'm doing. But I'm going to take my yarn needle, I'm going to come up from the inside here, and I'm going to come out through one of the spaces next to the stitches, like this, and I'm going to carefully pull my yarn through, but I'm not going to pull it all the way through. And then I'm going to go back into my yarn 3 spaces over. Hey DJ! Thanks for joining stream, appreciate you being here. And then I'm going to gently pull that back through. I'm going to pull on this end. And then I want to give our little frog a little smile. I don't know how well you guys can see him, but I think I didn't do that right. So I'm just going to do that again so you guys can see. I'm going to go from the inside here through the outside, and I want to go through, oh, I don't want to do it like right up next to the eye, but I don't want to do it like too far away from the eye. Right, there we go. And then I'm going to pull that through, but I'm not going to put all the way through because we're going to need a bit of that tail end to tie a knot so it doesn't come undone. And then I'm going to go 3 spaces over and back in through the top this time. And I'm just going to gently, nearly lost my put my teeth back in, nearly lost my yarn then. So he's got kind of like a little mouth starting to form. And then I'm going to come up through one of the stitches here. I'm going to hook this mouth part that we did. And I'm going to use my yarn and go back through that same stitch with my yarn needle. And when I pull this down, it should create a little smile, but in this really bad lighting it's hard to see. And then, so that it doesn't come undone, I'm just going to use the remaining yarn and tie a knot so that the smile stays in place and it doesn't accidentally get pulled out. And it's okay if I lose a little bit, or like if it accidentally pulls through, because I can use the yarn needle to adjust it so you can see one side of the smile is a bit smaller than the other. So I'm just gonna struggle to pick up my yarn needle again. And I'm just going to hoop that underneath the shorter side and just gently pull on it. And I'm going to do the same with the other side. And then gently pull on that knot. And that is the face of our frog done. Oh, hello, Bandit. Hello. We have a cat that's come to join us. And then I'm going to make sure these yarn are tied nice and tight so the smile doesn't come undone. Careful, there's a pair of scissors there, mate. And a charger. What are you doing? You coming to get comfy? We have a cat that's decided to come and join us. Yeah, you pick a comfy spot then, Vans. No wardrobe, baby. No wardrobe. You're not allowed in the wardrobe. You can lie on the bed. You're not allowed in the wardrobe. Okay? Bed's fine. No wardrobe. And don't come over here because I have a pair of scissors in my hand. There you go. Just see. Oh, look. Bandit comes to say hello. Right. Don't worry, because when our frog's finished, you won't see the tails. They'll be hidden inside of the frog. Hi. You're adorable. Yeah, you causing a distraction. You and some cuddles. Easily to get distracted by Kitty. Yes, you're a cute cat. Don't know whether you guys can hear, but she has a very loud purr. It's pretty purr. There we go. She's had a fluffle. Should be alright now. Right. And now I'm gonna... Got a bit of a stuffy nose. Right. So now we've got the head of our frog done. We've got the eyes and the little mouth. Apologies if you can't see very well. The lighting is very bad. And I cannot currently... Whoop, brain not working. At the moment I cannot set up my ring light because there isn't a safe place to put it where it's not going to fall over. So we're just going to work with the lighting we have for the minute. So in the next row, I'm gonna put on the little arms. So I'm just gonna do one single crochet into each space until I get round to the front of the frog, round about here, so then I can put the arms on. It's a little bit difficult to do, but just like I did with the eyes, I'll have to do a bubble stitch so that the little arms kind of poof out. And I've just lost my stitch. There we go. Right, we'll work with that. So to do a single crochet, I'm going to go into the stitch next to the one I've previously been into. I'm going to wrap my working yarn around my hook, and I'm going to pull that back through the same space. And then I'm going to wrap my working yarn, which is this bit here, over my crochet hook, and I'm going to pull that through both of the loops that are on my hook. And that's a single crochet done. So I'm just going to do that until I get round to what is the front of my frog. And gonna gently give that a jiggle. And I'm just gonna keep doing one single crochet into each space just for a moment. I think this is going to be a tiny bit tricky because it's quite fiddly. So I'm gonna do and then I do one more single crochet, yeah, right, and now I'm gonna do a bubble stitch so I can put the arms on. So like I did with the eyes, we've got to do to put the arms on. And I know you might be thinking, that's a little bit too close to the face to be putting the eyes on, but you'll understand why I'm doing it that way in a minute. So to do a bubble stitch, I've got to do like multiple double crochets in through the same stitch. Oh, so that's the first one. I'll just do this one to show you. So to do a double crochet, you wrap the working yarn around the hook, and then you would go into the next stitch and wrap and pull through. But because we're doing a bubble stitch, after I've wrapped, I'm going to go into the same hole that I went through, and I'm going to wrap and pull that through. And then if this was just a double crochet, you would wrap and pull through 2, and then wrap and pull through the last 2 on the hook. But because we're doing a bubble stitch, we need to have 6 loops on our hook before we pull through all. I have 1, 2, 3, so I need to do 3 more. So it's 4. Oh, and you will notice how I'm only taking off the first 2 loops, and that is the 2 loops that are closest to the hook end. Oh, right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so this is a part bubble because we don't want our eyes to be smaller than our arms. So now I've got 5 loops on my hook. I'm going to wrap and pull through all of the loops. This can be a bit tricky because it's difficult to get the yarn through all of them at once, and you might have to turn the hook at an angle so that you don't drop the yarn. And then I'm going to do a small increase in the stitch next to that little bubble stitch that we just did, just because that gives us a little bit more room to work with. And then I'm going to use my fingernail to just push that bubble stitch up so that it puffs out into that little arm shape, and it kind of looks like he's reaching out. And then now that I've done the increase, I'm going to do a single crochet next to that stitch, and then because I need to do the other arm, I'm going to do a bubble stitch here. So this is going to be a little bit fiddly. So it's actually wrap through the same, wrap back through, wrap, and off with 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. I need to do one more. See, when you have 5 stitches on your hook, it's not too bad. Like 3 or less stitches on your hook, easy, but when it gets to like 6 or more stitches on your hook, it's really tricky because there's not a lot of movement space. I've got hiccups. So now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've got 5 loops on my hook. I'm going to wrap and then pull through all of the loops. And you'll notice how I turn my wrist and the crochet hook at an angle. That is because it makes it easier to keep the working yarn on the hook that way. And then just like I did with the last one, I would do an increase, but I think I'm just going to do a single crochet on this side, just because I don't feel I need to. And again, using my fingernail to push that bubble stitch so it pops up and it sits the way that I want it to sit. It can be a bit difficult to do that, so what I like to do is I like to take like the round end of a pin or the rounded blunt end of a crochet needle and just use that to help me push the little poof like bits into shape. Or like if you have like a pencil or like a wooden dowel you can use to push the little arms and the eyes into shape, that works quite well as well. And then now I'm just gonna continue to do one single crochet into each space until I get back round to my stitch marker. And when it comes to crochet, the size of the tool you're using, it does matter, because the larger measurement size of the crochet hook, the bigger your stitches are going to be, so that will ultimately affect the size of the thing you're making. So at the minute I'm using a 2mm crochet hook, but if I was using like a 4 or a 5mm crochet hook, this would be like double the size. But I'm using a 2mm crochet hook because I need the frog to be small enough to sit on a lily pad and not take up too much space. Okay, so I'm almost at the end of this row now. Again, still only doing single crochet on this row. Okay, now I'm back to where my stitch marker is. You can see the frog is coming together a lot more. We've got the little eyes and the arms and the mouth. And I will just show you guys what this is supposed to look like when it's finished in comparison to what we have now. Oh, sliding stuff all over the place. Very large yet very empty storage box there. So this is a coaster that I've made. You can see it's kind of shaped like a lily pad. It works kind of like a lily pad. This is what the frog is kind of supposed to look like when it's finished, but on this the arms are too far back, so they kind of look like wings. On this one I didn't poof the arms out well enough, so they're not very visible. But that's okay, because I can just take my wool working needle and use that to pull the arms into shape a little bit more so that they pop out. I'll try and do that without damaging it. I should have used the doll end of the crochet hook, not crochet hook, sorry, wool working needle. And then I'm going to do the same for the little feet as well. And I don't need to pull on it too hard because we don't want to damage it. We're just gently giving it, ooh, I dropped it, giving them a little tug so that they are, I'm not like pulling on them, I'm just using the wool working needle to help them stick out a little better. So this is a unfinished coaster, and this is an unfinished frog decoration. And this is what they're supposed to look like when they're finished. Excuse the very poor lighting, but you kind of get the general idea. So I have 3 finished coasters with little frogs on. I've got a pair of rainbow earrings and a little rainbow pin badge as well that I have previously made. That was super fun to do. Dear me, I'm getting a little bit tired now. It's been a long day. So now that I've got the little arms on, in this next row I'm gonna start working in the colour for the belly. So for that I'm using this very light pink. If somebody else was crocheting this, they might prefer to use like a white or a cream or maybe a peach, but I just personally feel that pink and green go really nicely together. Itch in my eye, goodness me. Right, so I'm going to remove my stitch marker and I'm going to place that on my stitch that's on my crochet needle. This is so that when I get back round to this side, I know I'm starting a new row, because it can be confusing doing projects like this without stitch markers. Because stitch markers, if you have to take a break and you need to put the crochet down, you can hook it through your stitch so that it doesn't come undone, or you can use them as a placeholder so you know when you finish each row. They're quite helpful things to have to hand. But if you don't have stitch markers, you could always use like a paper clip or like a bobby pin or something like that. Anything that just kind of stays where you place it. So now I'm just going to keep doing one single crochet into each stitch with my green yarn until I get round to where I want my tummy to be. And then we will switch colours, do the tummy, but I'm not gonna cut my green yarn. I'm gonna keep it like, I'm not cutting the green yarn when I change for the pink yarn, because we need the green yarn to do the rest of the frock. So I'll show you what I will do in a moment. It can be a little bit fiddly and a tiny bit tricky and a bit awkward. Right. And like I did for the the eyes earlier, I'm gonna increase the stitches where the arms are here, because it's really awkward to get into that stitch without accidentally crocheting into the arm. So I got one more single crochet to do. And now, because I don't want to accidentally crochet this arm into the work, I'm going to use my thumb and I'm going to pull on that arm. I'm going to increase on both of the stitches that that arm connects to. So to do an increase, you just do 2 single crochets into the same space. So I'm going to do that again on this side of the arm. And see, now I have a problem because here is where I want to add my arms. Not my arms, my stomach, the tummy part of the frog, but there isn't enough space. So we're going to do that in the next row instead. And then you gotta trust me on this, it's a work in progress. So just like I did for the other arm, I'm gonna increase the 2 stitches that connects to. Because I don't want to accidentally crochet the arm so that it doesn't poof up. We want those little hands nice and poofy, and we want them to stay poofy so that when our frog is finished they stay visible and he stays looking nice and cute. So I'm going to quickly finish this row of single crochet out without injuring myself with the crochet needle, hopefully. And then we can start working in the colour for the stomach. Which will definitely get a bit fiddly. Just doing 1 single crochet into each space until I get to the end of the row. I've definitely lost count on my stitches, I know that much, because at one point I would count out every single stitch and that just takes way too much time. So if I use a stitch marker and I know the pattern and I can just, okay, I need to do this and that, and I know how to do it, then I don't need to count the stitches. I've got my stitch marker, so I know when I get to the end of the row. But yeah, how is I'm going to take a break from crochet just for a second. For anyone who's watching on Twitch stream, how is everybody's day going? I hope everyone's having a good day. Hope everyone's staying hydrated and looking after themselves. Apologies for dipping for a second. I needed to grab my water. Not bad. How's yours been? My day's been good, thank you, Carito. Appreciate everybody being here on Twitch stream with me. It's fun spending time with you guys. We're going to pretend that didn't happen. I totally did not just spill water right up my nose and all over my face. I'm going to quickly grab something so I can just wipe that off. Cotton wool at work. We're going to pretend that didn't happen. Because I literally just spilt water right up my nose. And it's all over me. Oh yeah, I didn't tell you guys. I got my nose pierced on Saturday. So that's fun. I've been trying to keep that as clean as I can. I can't risk any bacteria or anything getting on that. Oh, that wasn't fun. I just had water go straight up my nose and it's still all down my chin. Okay, moving on. That happened. That's done. Right. I think I might actually... Sorry. I need to adjust because these yarn tails are annoying me, so I'm gonna pull on this little green one here that's gonna tighten my magic ring at the top, and I'm gonna tie these two tails together. In a knot. Sorry, you guys couldn't see that. Alright, these two yarn tails from earlier, I'm just going to tie them in a knot because we don't need them and I don't want anything that we've done to come undone. We also don't need this green yarn tail anymore. From the magic ring, we can cut that off. Don't need that anymore. But this yarn tail that I have here from doing the mouth, I'm gonna keep that on because I'm gonna use that when we attach the pink yarn for the tummy. The belly of the frog. I'm not good with words today. Brain is just not braining, and found my crochet hook. Right. So now that I've fixed that little bit that was annoying me and moved my stitch marker onto the stitch on my hook, I'm gonna carry on doing one single crochet into each space until I get to like this front part of the frog, and then we're gonna change to this pink yarn and start working in the colour for the belly of the frog. Might get a little might get a bit confusing with yarn colours. I cannot word today. I don't know what's going on with me. Right, one single crochet in each space. Oh, I got myself stuck. Where have I? Oh, I think I went. Ah, there we go. I got my hook caught on previous stitch, so I'm just gonna carry on one single crochet into each space until I get round to the front of my frog. I'm coming round the side now. And not yet. Stuck. Right. We're getting there. I think I'm going to do 2 more single crochets. And then I'll change colour. Right. So, this is a tricky part. I'm going to put my crochet hook through that stitch. I'm going to wrap and pull through as if I'm doing a single crochet, and then I'm going to take the end of the pink yarn that we're using for the belly. I'm going to leave about 2 or 3 centimeters of yarn at this end here, because I'm going to use that and tie it to this black yarn tail just so that it doesn't come apart. And then I'm going to wrap the pink yarn around my crochet hook, and I'm going to pull that through both of the green loops on my crochet hook. And then what then happens is the pink yarn finishes the green single crochet, and we've now changed colour onto our pink yarn. I'm then just gonna take the tail end of my pink and black yarn, and I'm gonna tie them together nice and tightly, and that should prevent it from coming undone from this end. And you want to make sure those knots are tied nice and tight so that nothing slips out of place. And if you're concerned that you haven't tied the knot well enough, you can tie multiple knots with the yarn tails, and it's not going to matter too much with a project like the frog because the knots are going to be hidden inside of the work, so you won't actually even know that they are there. And now I'm gonna cut off that pink yarn tail from the knot, and I'm gonna tuck that knot inside of the work so we can't see it from the outside of the frog. And then now we're just gonna continue single crochet with the pink yarn until we get to the other side of our arm over here. So we're still doing single crochet, we've just changed the colour of the yarn that we are using. And you want to make sure that you keep your green working yarn because we're going to use that again after we've used the pink yarn. So for the minute we're just going to put the green working yarn to one side whilst we do the pink yarn here for the belly of the frog. Now I normally do a smaller belly than this on my frogs, but I want this frog to be a little different to my other frogs. We're getting there. And this will be the last single crochet, finishing with the pink. And then, oh, okay, so you have two under the right, you have two pink under the hand and you have three pink under the hand. Right, hang on. So I'm gonna undo a little bit there. That is one part I always mess up on. Getting proportions even. So now we're going to move our pink yarn to one side because we don't need it for the minute. We're going to pick up our green yarn and we're going to bring it across the inside of the frog like this, and we're going to pinch it in. And like we did earlier when we changed from the green to the pink, we've got our 2 pink loops on our crochet hook. I'm going to wrap my green yarn over and pull that through the 2 pink loops. And then I'm going to pull the pink yarn a little bit tight so that that stitch stays in place. And then I'm just going to carry on doing 1 single crochet into each space with my green yarn until I get back to where my pink yarn is, and I don't need my stitch marker anymore, so I'm just going to remove that and put it in a safe place where I'm not going to lose it. So yeah, now we just continue 1 single crochet with our green yarn into each space all the way around until we get back to where the pink is. And you want to make sure that you do not cut the pink yarn here because we're still building the belly. Naturally, crocheting these little frogs is super fun. I learned how to crochet the little frogs that I make from a tutorial that I found on YouTube. Unfortunately, I cannot remember the tag of the person on YouTube who I got this pattern off of. Because everyone has different ways of making frogs, and there's so many different patterns and tutorials and things for crochet on YouTube. It's difficult to find the same one every time. Right, getting there. I like to do 2 or 3 rows, mainly like 3 or 4 rows of pink on the belly, and then I'll put the little feet on, and after I've put the little feet on, we stuff our little frog with lots of stuffing. Just enough to fill the frog up so that it holds its shape. You can see I'm coming back round to where the pink is now. And the first row of colour changing onto the pink is always the trickiest, because the first colour change onto the pink, you're essentially marking where the belly of your frog will be. So now I'm going to move my green yarn to the side again, and I'm going to swap onto the pink yarn, just like we did before. You do 1 single crochet with the green, and then the last single crochet that you do next to the pink, before you wrap and pull through, instead of pulling through with the green yarn, you wrap and pull through with the pink yarn. And then now we just continue with the pink yarn over that previous row that we did. And that's just going to carry on building the belly of our frog. So I'm just making sure to do 1 single crochet into each space, and you want to make sure to keep the right amount of tension on your working yarn, because if you have too much tension on your working yarn, then your stitch is going to be too tight and you're going to struggle to work with the yarn and the project. But if you don't have enough tension on your working yarn, then your stitches are going to be too loose and they're going to fall off of the hook and your work will look messy. So it's finding the right balance between the amount of tension that you're using. And then that's the second row of the belly of our frog done. Hey Peace 1430, appreciate you being here. Thank you for joining the stream. I'm gonna swap onto my green yarn again. And then I'm gonna do 1 single crochet with my green yarn into each space until I get background to where my pink yarn is. Oh, gosh. I didn't read the title. It's okay. I appreciate you being here. You're welcome to stay and enjoy my crochet chaos if you'd like to. If you don't want to, up to you. But I appreciate you coming and saying hello. I got myself in a pickle for a second. I forgot which stitch I was going into. Alright, I am almost... Alright, I think I don't want this frog to be too big, but I don't want it to be too small. So I think I'm going to do 1 more row of pink on the belly of the frog, and then I'll do the little feet. I love the little feet of the frog, they're so cute. But we're getting the hang of it. So this is what we have of our little frogs so far. And I'm hoping it will look something like this when I'm finished. How long did it take you to learn how to crochet a frog? That seems complicated. I don't know. I found a tutorial for it on YouTube and I thought, oh, that seems fun. I'll give that a try. And I think I had to watch the video a couple of times to understand how to do it. But I had to watch like a couple of different tutorials on how to crochet the frogs because there was a lot of different tutorials on there and everyone has like different ways of doing it. This way is just the way that seems to work easiest for me. I'd say I probably spent like a good day, 2 days trying to work out how to actually crochet the frog. A good like day or 2 to actually work out how to do it. It's for me it's relatively easy because it's literally just single crochet and a bobble stitch. However, there are parts of it that are really tricky, like the magic ring, because you have to, it's basically like a loop with like a tail, and you have to crochet 6 single crochets into that loop, but you have to do it so that when you pull on that short tail of the loop, it shrinks the ring and it pulls everything into a circle. It's kind of difficult to explain, but that bit is very tricky. And I would say the bobble stitch, which is what we had to do for the eyes and the little hands, are really tricky. Oh yes, I know what you're talking about. I've seen my mother do it. See, with practice, it gets easier. Yeah, you get the idea. It's a loop that you put lots of other little loops through. It's essentially just weaving the wool together so that it makes something, but you use a tool to do it, and I've got muck. I've got dirt in my work. But this is what I'm hoping it'll look like when it's finished. It's like a loop you have to get through. Yeah, it's like a big loop with lots of other little loops going through it, essentially. That's the best way I can think to describe a magic ring. They're really awkward. Really awkward. But I don't know. I've made I don't have any on my person at the moment because I'm selling the stuff that I've been crocheting at one of my local shops, so I make like a batch and then I'll take them up to where I can sell them. You made a lily pad underneath the frog? Yeah, hell yeah I did. I didn't just make one. I didn't just make two. I made 3. And when I finish this frog, I will have a 4th. And then I also have 4 more lily pads that I need to put frogs on. So when I'm finished, I will have 8 lily pad coasters with frogs sitting on them. Because the crochet work that I've been doing has been in high demand recently, and I'm struggling to... Oh, sorry, my nose is really itchy. I think my piercing's like... Where are you going? That way. Sorry about that. I recently just got my nose pierced and I keep catching it and it's peeving me off. I'm struggling to make my crochet fast enough to meet the demands of my customers, which is a challenge. Sorry, my nose is like irritating me right now and I can't do anything to fix it. Hello. Oh, careful, Bands. You got shot in the nose, or did... No, I had like a needle. I can't remember what it's called, but it's like a cannula or something. But it was basically like a really long needle that went through my nose, and then they cut like plastic bit off. And yeah, I checked on Ozzy.
Is he alright?
Yeah, I managed to get him to eat a little, and it's had something to... No, earlier, before I got dark.
Jenna, I left as it was getting dark. I fed him before I left.
fed you. I know you want your mum's attention all day.
I feel like shit. The cats are coming out tomorrow, which is why I keep asking for help with cleaning the house, but I'm not getting it.
Well, I
Just trying to help.
I think it is generally only used on ears, but I personally wouldn't get that done again. I wouldn't get my ears done with an ear piercing gun again. I couldn't do that. That was too much. It hurts, and they can be quite dangerous, because if it goes through but it doesn't push the piercing all the way through, it can jam and get stuck, and nope. Let's not go there. Piercing guns, no. I never will let a piercing gun go anywhere near my skin again. Because every time that I've had my ear pierced with a piercing gun, I had a problem with it. Yeah, we got it. This will be the last row that I do of belly, and then I'll put the little feet on. Oh no, I lost my yarn. Come on. No, you're not supposed to unravel, you're supposed to get back up. Good enough. Now I really have got myself in a pickle. Alright, I've changed colour. You have a cat or a dog? I have 3 cats, and I also have 6 rabbits to care for. But my rabbits have their own little house outside. Do you have any pets? I do love animals. Cats and rabbits. I had a rabbit and 3 cats before. At the moment, I only have 1 cat. I do love animals, though. They are quite funny. At the moment, my household is currently caring for a baby bird who fell out of his nest and he can't fly. So he's staying with us until he's ready to take on the world on his own. See, he's a clever bird, and he knows how to do most things for himself, and he knows how to pick up his food and how to drink the water and stuff by himself. But he's lazy, so he cries at you and makes you do it for him. And if you don't, then he has a bit of a tantrum. Yeah, he's funny. I'll have to try and... no, made a mistake. Nearly. I nearly made a mistake. Right. I need my green yarn again. I'll pull that tight. And then, because in the next row, I'm going to put the little feet on, I'm going to cut my pink yarn. I want my black tail. Alright. In the next row, I'm going to put the little feet on. So I'm going to cut my pink yarn. And I'm going to tie my pink and my black yarn tails together. As best as I can. So that that doesn't come undone. He just looks at Hop around. He would also tap the rabbits and run every time. Oh, rabbits are fun pets to have. I used to have a very lovely bunny called Cookie, and he was a white bunny and very fluffy. But he, my Cuckoo bun, he was a bit of a happy bunny, and he took to trying to hump the cat, which didn't go down so well. The cat didn't very much appreciate that. We then ended up having to get my rabbit some soft toy like animal balls so that he would hump the balls instead of humping the cat. Yeah, I had a lot of fun memories with my bunnies. I've had quite a few rabbits over the years. Quite a few. Dogs do the same thing. Oh, don't. I can't remember where I was, but I was out in town at one point, and there was this puppy. It was very cute. I went over and I said hello to the puppy, and he seemed quite excited. It wasn't until after I'd kind of moved myself away from the puppy that had realised that the puppy was humping my arm. So I felt kind of grossed out by that. Wasn't a very well trained pup. Was not a very well trained pup, but very friendly. Yeah, as soon as I got home I took that jacket off and it went straight in the washing machine. Because I don't think I've actually worn that jumper since that happened. It's traumatizing. Oh gosh. Animals do the funniest of things. Alright, I'm getting very close to finishing this frog while we were an hour and whatnot. Okay. Alright. What is it? What time is it? Oh, sheesh! I didn't realise that was the time. Right. I'm probably going to end this here because it's like almost midnight, and I'm getting pretty tired by this point, so I'm just gonna put my stitch marker in the stitch that's on my hook so that doesn't come undone. But this is what we've got so far. We've got a little frog, his little eyes, his little smile, his arms, and he's got a little bit of a belly there. So I think we'll... Oh! Yeah, you shut it, didn't you? You shut it, because I left before you. It's fine, the frog's still intact. It's still intact. But yeah, look how cute that is. It's adorable. But yeah, I think I'm gonna call end to this here. Thank you to everyone for coming on Twitch stream and hanging out and crocheting with me. For anyone who missed my Twitch stream, I will upload the footage onto my YouTube channel so you guys can take a look there if you missed today's stream. But that's all from me. Thank you for being here. Take care, everyone, and I will catch you all next time. And hopefully next time we will finish this frog and attach it to the lily pad. This is going to take a while. But anyways, bye!